on the train. They have the 24 newspapers. It's one of those free newspapers that is given out in the Montreal transit system. I was flipping through it and noticed this ad for Eska Water, and the ad depicted had three non-native men who were standing around like as if they were in an attack pose, and had said something on the bottom about defending the water's purity, and they were dressed up as some sort of a native person. They had the loincloth, your stereotypical indigenous individual, like a tribal person from a throwback to Amazon or something, or native from whatever region. I know what they were trying to depict in that ad, but I found it kind of insulting, to say the least. Having white guys, when painted up and dressed up like natives, to try and sell bottled water, which is taken from native land in the north of Quebec. It's a Quebec company, Eska. So I kind of found it very distasteful.
I wouldn't do that.
Do what?
Mix the Eska.
Why not?
Eskan Warriors.
What?
Folklore has it they've been protecting the purity of Eska for 8,000 years.
Yeah, right.
You're lucky. You missed.
Whenever they depict native on film, like native wisdom or whatever, they have that little eagle cry, in the background. Kind of sickening, like yeah, okay, whatever, And then after he starts pouring his orange juice into the water, and this dart goes flying into a picture behind him. Then you see these same three guys from the ad campaign, dressed up, and they're like snarling at him with their, with their blowgun and their spears, and I thought it was pretty distasteful. I figured, in this day and age, particularly in this country, that these type of things would be something that'd be in the past, left in the past.
Now, look at here, Mr. Tambo. Well, now, what is it, Mr. Bone? Boy, I wants to know what is all this talk I hear about you having a job in the circus? Oh, I had me a job in the circus, but I quit there. You quit there? Well, why did you do that? Well, I had to do me 2 jobs at one time.
This is what I asked myself. I said, how acceptable would it be on YouTube or in a newspaper if somebody was in blackface? Or if somebody was dressed up as an Hasidic Jew, selling this water? How would that be acceptable? I'm more than positive there'd be a loud outcry against it. There's racism and there's acceptable racism. And it seems that indigenous people are part of a very small group of people who racism against this population is acceptable. I mean, some of the people in this group include Arabs, where it's acceptable to do any deprecating humor about Arabs or natives. I find it disturbing, to say the least. And I figured that in this day and age, we've come to a point where we can sell products without having to use that kind of a deprecation of a person or to demean them or mock them in an ad. Eska explained. They tried to explain to me that they didn't pick they didn't depict a specific group of people. It's not the point. The point is you're depicting natives in a negative fashion. Natives in general. It doesn't matter if it's the fictitious group. They're still natives. I can do the same. I can put on a blackface and say, well, I'm not depicting a certain group of blacks. But it doesn't matter. I'm still wearing blackface. Or, if I did the Hasidic Jewish thing, well, I'm not a specific group of Jewish people. It doesn't matter. The message is clear. It is what it is. You're depicting a certain ethnic group, right? And that I find is distasteful. And I kind of found the way we're being brushed off on Facebook by them. Very little response, as if like, oh, well, it's only an ad. Can you see the humor in it? No, I can't see the humor in it. Because that kind of a thing leads to desensitizing people to larger issues, particularly given that this is a bottled water company, considering that for most part, 90% of the reservations within Canada have non-potable drinking water. I mean, it's like kind of a double whack. I don't know. I think personally, myself and others, we've been discussing this in detail to begin a boycott of Eska Water, just for the practice of employing racist advertising to sell their product. My mother is one of the biggest buyers of Eska Water, and I know a lot of other natives who buy Eska bottled water, and there goes their sales. Because I'm telling them, don't buy this water. Every Indian I see, I'm telling them, don't buy the water. This is why. I show them the ad. And you find that acceptable? No, I don't find it acceptable. Then, then why should we give these people money when they're making a mockery of our ancestors?